Hi, this is CD. I'm down here in Central Florida. So we're putting in a pool. We're going to be doing a white cage. We want our porch cage, I guess you'd call it, to match the white cage. So this is the silver aluminum, which I don't, from what I understand, they don't sell anymore. So we obviously are trying to paint it, and I figured out the ways not to do it. Um, and so starting off is we thought we could find a good primer. And apply that, and be ready to paint. So we got this extreme bond primer. It says that it paints aluminum, and so we put it on there. And when I was done, I noticed that it had a couple of where some drops of water had dropped, and then it dried with some dirt. So there was this little coating of dirt film on the primer. So I went to wash that off with a wet rag, and I wiped the primer right off. It does bond to it. The primer does bond to the aluminum. You could touch it and rub your fingers on it, but with enough abrasion, that primer comes right off. So you have to do additional steps in order to paint the aluminum, which I found out. So I had to pressure wash this whole thing, get that extreme bond primer off, and did some more research. Found some plain hobbyists on YouTube that use well, they got different names now. It used to be Aluma Prep, and I forget what the chroming substance what it used to be called. But so this Aluma Prep is now a CI C33 Aero, and then you got that chroming coat, which is the MCR 1201. So I had to do that first. So I went to do the acid etching with the CIC 33. Did the whole thing, and then went to put that chroming coat on, and I noticed that it was not taking. And so I fortunately, I had some areas where I had to grind into the aluminum. Actually, there's a spot right here where I had to remove the door frame off, and so I noticed the areas where I had ground into the aluminum were the only places that was taking that chroming, the 1201. And so what I realized is on these, is if you have one of these cages and you're trying to paint it, they treated it, or they have some type of coating or something on this, so you're not at the aluminum, or you're at some type of treated form of the aluminum at the surface level. So there's some additional steps that you have to take, which I unfortunately had to find out the hard way, and that's to sand down your aluminum. And so I haven't started that yet because I gotta get a replacement part for my sander. But I've done it, sanded down some parts by hand. You can probably polish it with wire brush or something like that as well. But but here's where I had sanded it down right here, so you can see that it took that chroming coat, and so I sanded it down. I put the acid etching on there, and then I put the chroming just now, just to test it out. And sure enough, this time it took the chroming. And because when you put the chroming, and I'm calling that for simplicity instead of calling it 1201, when you put that chroming solution on there, it's supposed to turn your aluminum into like a goldish copper penny type color. So it works if you did that. So the first time around, after I did the acid etching and I didn't sand it down, it didn't turn this color, so I knew something was wrong. But like I said, unfortunately, I saw where I ground into the aluminum, it took it. So so I think I'm well on my way now. I just got to get the sanding piece, and I'll be able to sand this whole thing down, and then get the acid etching on there, put that chroming solution on, and then I'll go back to the extreme bond primer, prime it. We were able to match up. We got a sample from the pool cage company. We were able to match that color up, the color on the aluminum cage, I took a sample piece of that aluminum, painted aluminum to Sherwin-Williams, matched it up, and so we have a really good match on the color. So it should look good once we're done. But everything I'm being told is that if you do it this way, you'll have something, it'll last for a long time. So I got to do it right because I got kids. If I just slap some paint on here, it's going to get dinged up and it'll look bad. So I hope this helps because I've gone through a lot of trial and error. I thought I could help somebody out. So God bless you.